Hello, my name is Miss Melissa. I am a teaching artist in the PACE program with the Acadiana Center for the Arts in Lafayette Parish School System in Lafayette, Louisiana. I am here today to do a special art project with you. As you can see, we are outside in nature. That is because today you are going to use organic objects to make art in the design of a mandala. So what does that mean? Organic. Have you ever heard of that word, organic? Organic pretty much means, if you were thinking something natural, something found in nature, a living organism or a living being, just like I have outside. You can see all the trees, plants, bushes. These are all living organisms. They are growing from the ground, okay? So you get to use leaves, branches, flower petals, grass. What else can we find outside? Some rocks. Any type of plant or natural object found outdoors, you are going to use that and create a really neat design in the shape of a mandala. So I don't know if you know what that is, but here is a book on mandalas. Basically, it's a circular design. It's a circular shape that has different designs in it. I can just kind of flip through. There's just so many different kinds of mandala designs. I am going to show you one to help you understand what we're going to be doing. Now, these are pictures. We're not going to be making pictures, but I'm showing you this because I want you to know that we're going to start in the center. So you can put rocks in the center of your paper. You can put flower petals, leaves, anything, and we're going to work our way out in sort of a shape of a circle, okay? So we're just going to start in the center and work our way out. So what makes a mandala special is that it has something called radial symmetry, okay? Radial symmetry basically means that there are different straight lines that are balanced out in different directions. So let me explain this. Do you see the dragonfly on top? Okay, well, good. Now, if you move your eye down, you're going to see the exact same dragonfly on the bottom, and it lines up in an imaginary straight line. Do you know what that imaginary straight line is called, or what direction it would be in? That would be a vertical direction that this imaginary straight line is in. Now, look across. Do you see the dragonfly on the side? If you move across sideways, you can see the other one, right? So what direction would you call this imaginary straight line? Starts with an H. If you were thinking horizontal, very good. This is a horizontal line. It goes in a horizontal direction, okay? Now you can also have designs that line up. Here's an imaginary straight line here and here in a slant. Do you see these flowers here? Here's one. And if you go across, you can see one at this, going into a slanted direction. Do you know what direction these slanted lines are called? From one corner to the other? That is called a diagonal direction. So, I would like you to make some type of design today, starting from the center, putting leaves, flower petals, any organic object, and lining them up somehow in different directions. And I will show you how to do this in a minute. So now you don't have to have radial symmetry. You could have symmetry going up and down and side to side. Or maybe you're just going to have symmetry that is diagonal, okay? So I'm actually going to show you an organic design right now outside that I made on the ground. You can make organic designs outside on the ground, the grass, the cement, the sand. It's actually called land art. You can look up land art and see what different types of land art there are. I'm going to show you one that I made outside. So you can make that. And then after this, then we're going to go inside with paper, and you are going to make your very own type of land art. You get to use any organic objects you want and put it in some type of circular design. Okay, I can't wait to show you my outdoor piece of art. So now I'm showing you my example of my piece of art. This would be an example of land art. As you can see, it has a circular shape, just like a mandala. You see that? And then I used organic objects. Can you tell what organic objects that I used? Take a look at it. And come around this way. Try to get out the shadow. Do you see the rocks in the center? Very good. I used some pebbles, and you can see that I used what type of flower petals? Some pink flower petals, red flower petals, some green leaves, and also, do you see the purple leaves? So this is one example of a piece of land art. Don't forget to Google it. I would love for you to look at all types of land art designs. You are going to see that they are all made with organic objects in a circular design. So what I want you to do now is I would like for you to go in your backyard or outdoors and collect some organic objects, leaves, different colors, different sizes, different shapes, any kind of flowers that you're interested in. You can pick the flowers and use the petals. I would also like you to maybe pick up some rocks or pebbles if you have that. Let's see, what else could you use? Even grass. If you don't have any plants, you could literally just cut the grass, because the grass, each piece of grass will give you a straight line. Remember, we talked about different types of symmetry inside of the circle. So go have fun right now. Go choose your natural objects, and you could actually make your own organic mandala outside, and then you can also make one inside. But I would definitely like you to bring these objects in so we can use them to make your design on paper. I will see you inside. Before we start making your organic mandala today, you are going to need some supplies. So let's start with the most important things. You will most definitely need some type of organic objects that you picked outside to bring in. So you may have some pebbles or some rocks that you want to use. Maybe you'll have some type of flower petal. Maybe you'll have some type of leaf, okay? You can see there's different colors here. I have some red, some purple, there's a green one, and then I have some over here as well. And some, even if you don't have any plants and you have grass, you can cut some grass. So decide on your natural objects, okay? And you will most definitely need a cardboard sheet, something recycled. This is from a cereal box. If you have any cardboard, the back of a notebook, an old notebook, or the cereal box, something kind of sturdy would work really good. And then I'm gonna glue paper on top. So if you have construction paper lying around, any color you want, I chose black. You can choose red, green, whatever you'd like. And then you will most definitely need glue. You can just use the bottle, but I know it's going to be easy today for me to pour it into a container and use a paintbrush. So if you have a little container and a paintbrush, get that too. But you will most definitely need glue and cardboard. And then you might need to use these items. You may need to use a pencil. You may need to use scissors and a ruler. It just depends on what you're doing. And if you are going to dry and press your plant life into a book, you will need some type of heavy book to press your objects. For example, I'm going to show you what I did. Now, if you press the objects, you're going to have to leave it in there for a few days. A couple days, okay, would be fine. Or even a week if you want, and you can come back and create. So I want to show you what I did. This side okay? These natural objects are not pressed. As you can see, my flower is still in the water. The petals are curled, so are the leaves. These are not pressed, okay? This side, with the exception of the rocks, this side of my supplies, these are all pressed. You can see that they're flat, and when you do that, it dries it out and the colors change a little bit. This is nice and flat. This is completely pressed. It's been sitting in the book for about, let's see, I guess about 5 days now. These have been sitting in the book for 5 days. So here's some flower petals that are pressed. I'm not really sure what this is exactly. I just cut it in my yard. This is pressed. Look at, you see how this is flattened? They're starting to, I mean, this, I don't think these were pressed as long, but I have some really good examples of a difference. How can you tell if something is, you know, right, like picked fresh from outdoors or pressed? Look at the difference. These are both yellow leaves. Do you see the difference? What is the difference besides one being a little bit smaller? If you were going to say that this is brighter and it curls compared to this one, which is what? It's flatter and it's darker, like a darker brown. That's the main difference. It kind of dries it out and it loses its color, but when you go to glue it, it's going to be a lot easier, okay? Now you can still glue something that's not pressed. You can do that too, but this would probably last a bit longer. Since we're talking about natural objects that are pressed and dried versus picked right out the yard, I'm going to show you some examples of what your artwork may look like if you decide to just go ahead and glue your objects right away without pressing and drawing them in the book. Okay, so let me just show you some examples. Now, here is one. Now, this is a really good example of an organic mandala. It's similar to what I showed you in the beginning of the book of the mandala examples that I had. This is, the design is you could actually see the circle, right? Okay, now look at, did you notice the rocks here? That would be something easy to glue because that doesn't change. The rocks won't change through time, but everything else does. What do you notice about these flower petals? I don't know if you can see. Do you see how they're kind of crinkling along the edge? So through time, your flower petals are actually going to change. They're going to decay. They're going to get a little dry and crinkly. So you should definitely put just one dot of glue in the center of your objects if you have something round. And then if something's long and thin, you can just put glue along the whole area. Okay? Now she actually cut up her pieces and glued them here. Let me show you some more. Here's another circular design. Now this particular student used mostly what? Very good. He used mostly rocks. Now, what do you notice about these leaves? Do you see that? Do they seem like they're bright green or they turned a little brown? They're definitely turning a little brown. There's still, I can see a little bit of lighter green here, but they have changed. This particular student glued the leaf straight out from outside and it was bright green. So it's changing through time. Okay. Here's another design. So far, these are all very symmetrical. You notice the top petal is similar to the what? Bottom. And then she has the same on both sides. Same thing with the stems. Top and bottom and both sides. So this one has a symmetrical design all the way around. It has radial symmetry, just like the other ones do. Again, look at the flower petals. They're kind of crinkling along the edge. They're decaying. Just like fruits and vegetables if you go grocery shopping. What happens if you don't eat the fruit and vegetables right away? They're going to go rotten. They're going to go bad. Same thing with this. Okay, so there's changes in the flower petals. Look, I could show you the difference here. This one that I pressed and dried is nice and flat. So when I glue it, it's going to stay that way. So that's the good thing about pressing it. Because once you glue it, after you press and dry it in a book for about 3 to 5 days, it's going to look just like this after you glue it. So, but this still looks neat. So make your decision. If you're going to decide to press and dry, you need to pick your objects, put it in a book, and come back to it in 3 days and check on it. And then you can continue making art with me, okay? I am ready to start making my organic mandala. So first thing I'm going to do is glue my colored paper to my cardboard. I'm going to put my paintbrush in the glue. It's been sitting there for a while. And what I'm going to do is just spread the glue all the way around the cardboard, going back and forth. And I'm sure you're working at a table. If you're working at, you know, a nice wooden table and you don't want to get glue on it, you can get a large piece of paper, some newspaper. I have a poster board actually that I'm working on. And I'm just going to go side to side. Now, why am I painting it? Well, if I were to pour this and just put paper on top, it would show the lines going through the paper. So this way it's going to be nice and flat. Okay? Now, if I'm going too fast, you could always pause the video and I will be here when you come back. Now I'm going to go along the edge this way. I want my paper to stick really good. There we go. I'm going to get the corners and the sides. Okay, I'll just put that there, or you can lay it in here. So now what I'm going to do is take my paper and I'm going to line up the edges. And this side too. Just kind of push the paper along the edge, and you can pick it up and make sure it lines up. Let's see. I have a little bit of cardboard over here. Just going to push it a little bit. I might have cut the cardboard a little uneven. That's fine. So once you have it on, I'm just going to go ahead and press. Just kind of rub it down. Now, since we're making a mandala, which is a circle, I like, let me just grab this. I like a square instead of a rectangle, but you don't have to have a square. You could have a rectangle size paper if you want. So now what I'm going to do is just cut the excess. I'm going to cut the excess paper off. See? We're not going to use this. We don't need this. We're just getting our surface ready. And now I have my surface. Now I already have one that I made into a square. You could see the difference. This one was a little bit bigger. So I could show you how to make a square. Well, first you want to measure your smaller sides with a ruler. So if you put your ruler on one end, you go to the other. This says it's about 7.5 inches wide. Okay? Now what do we know about a square? Are all the sides the same or different? For a square, all the sides are the same. So I want to make sure it goes how far this way. If you were thinking 7.5 inches wide, you are correct. So I'm going to mark my paper. This is where 7.5 would stop. And I'm going to take my ruler and put it straight and draw a line going all the way down. Now, the other one that I showed you, I think I had 8.5. So, it depends on the size cardboard. The bigger the cardboard, if you want a square, the bigger square you will have. So, once I draw that line, I'm going to cut it. And now I have my square. So I can put my natural objects on and make my mandala. We are ready to go. Now I went ahead and I made some room so I can start creating. Now this side, it's just dried parts of plants. And remember, this side, I didn't press and dry them. They're fresh, picked right outside just a little while ago, okay? So I'm going to try to put mostly dry. I just didn't get a chance to glue this, to press these, but I know that I want to put this in the middle. And if you remember my mandala book that I showed you earlier, a lot of mandalas are created by having something in the middle. You don't have to. You don't have to have anything in the middle, but I just feel like this should go here. So you can really design yours however you want. But just keep in mind, you want to have some kind of symmetry, possibly radial symmetry. What is radial symmetry? Do you remember what that means? If you were thinking, you want there to be objects the same on the top and the bottom and the sides all the way around, right? If it just has symmetry, then just your top and bottom will be the same, or the sides, but all the way around would be radial symmetry because it makes a radius, a circle. So just kind of keep that idea of a circle. So I'm just going to go ahead and start placing objects before I actually glue them. I'm just going to take a guess of where the middle is. Now this is going to take a little time, but I already kind of have an idea of what I want to do. And I can even use these later. I'm not sure yet. I'm really not sure what I want to do yet. But I know that I like this. Okay. And remember what I said about gluing. This is going to crinkle because I didn't press it. So I'm just going to want to put the glue in the middle. Get some of my long pieces. You can use grass. Just kind of playing around. Kind of like that. There's some smaller ones over here. So you're pretty much, I guess, placing objects and just designing. You're designing with outdoor natural plants or rocks. Something in the natural outdoors. You're designing. You're playing with designs. Kind of like that. I'm not really sure. I'm just playing around. So, but I really like the idea of lines for some reason coming from the center. I could always cut it later. I'm going to try to put some leaves maybe because I did press these. And I like I like starting from the middle and working my way out. So if I'm gonna put something on the right side, I want to also put it on the left. Top and bottom. side and side. And I could maybe move this down a little bit. Oh, that looks neat. There we go. I'm liking that. So yeah, you're just going to be rearranging your objects onto your surface. You're just playing around. That's what we're doing. And if you dried them like I did and came back, you'll notice that the leaves are very crunchy. They're very hard instead of, you know, these smooth leaves that are nice and fresh. You could use these as well, but it will change. You know, this red will turn darker. I mean, you could, you know, cut them and whatever you need to do. I'm going to cut that. I'm going to hold this down and cut that. And I could still put some items here. I'm not really sure. Oh, I could put the red in between maybe. And, you know, I might want to find a leaf that kind of matches the same size, because there's all kind of different sizes. But definitely, I could take this off. Let's see if that one's on top of here. Could put that one there. I'm liking that. Let's see if maybe these two would be, yep, this is close enough. I could even cut the stem. You could cut these as well. You don't have to put the whole thing. You could actually cut your object. You have so many choices. You are just designing. So, you know, if you have some big green leaves, maybe you're using those in your design. I'm not sure where I want to put this. And it doesn't have to be exactly. You don't have to have something exactly symmetric. It will balance itself out. That's even balanced out right there, see? It's working at an angle. I think I'm almost finished. I'm going to just add maybe a few more things. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I'm just playing. I'm putting natural objects down where I think it looks neat, keeping in mind that I want to have some type of radial symmetry, some type of circular design that is balancing out from the tops, bottoms, and sides. But it doesn't have to be exactly, because, you know, diagonal lines count too. And those are lines at an angle. I kind of like the texture of this. You can cut anything you need to. I bet you were surprised today when you found out you would be making art with plants, huh? This is super neat. So everything on my picture is pressed and dried, except what? What is not pressed and dried? I think I have two objects. If you were thinking the red leaves, you are correct. And what else? The yellow flower petals. Very good. Everything else is pressed and dried. All right, this is coming out really neat. I see radial symmetry. Everything looks balanced with color, the placement of my object. So I'm going to go ahead and take some of these things off and start gluing so I can have a finished product. So once you decide where you're going to put your plant objects or your natural objects, especially if you're using rocks, then you can take everything off and you can start gluing as well. I'm just going to make some little piles so I'll know. And you know what? I might forget where I put them too. And it's okay if I don't put them in the exact same spot. I might leave a few things just to kind of help me. The good thing is, what helps me is this diagonal line from corner to corner. These lines do help me a bit. I'm going to start gluing. Just going to put, remember what I said about those flowers. If you are using fresh items picked right outside, you don't have to glue the whole thing down, because what's going to happen, remember, it's going to decay. That flower is going to keep shriveling. So you can just glue it, just put a little bit, maybe in the middle, and let the object dry up on the edge, okay? So yeah, the only time you have to put glue on the whole thing is if it's completely, there we go, if it's completely dried and pressed. I think the leaves and grass aren't so bad. They won't crinkle along the edge as much. A petal, I think, is more delicate. So if you're gluing fresh flower petals, you do want to leave some room for the edges to curl and change, because you will see a change. I showed you some examples. But I think the leaves and grass aren't quite so bad. Okay, so now I can start gluing. I feel comfortable gluing my straight lines. Oops. And I'm going to get it pretty thick. The glue's going to dry, so you're going to see a lot of glue all over the paper. And I'm just going to press that down for a bit. You could probably get a napkin too and wipe the excess glue off. I think so. When I want to glue something like this that's pretty sturdy, you can put a little bit of thicker glue. Same thing as the rocks. If you have rocks, you want to put, a good bit of glue, because they're heavy. This is it's heavy. Lighter things, not so much. So yeah, hopefully you figured out your design and you could glue things down with me. You could even paint on top with glue. That's the nice thing about, you see, this is why I thought the paintbrush is nice. It kind of helps flatten everything. There we go. I bet you your design is coming out really nice. I'm sure it is. It just takes a little bit of time to glue. Remember, you can put your glue on top. It's going to help press it down. That's the nice thing about having a paintbrush, huh? If you put enough glue, it will stay. So now I can glue this leaf. All right. I'm going to go ahead and run and get a napkin. I'll be right back. Right. I'm going to go ahead and finish gluing my objects in place. I think the harder the object, like these are the pressed and dried objects, the more glue you might need. Because I've tried both ways. I've glued some that were fresh, and then I've glued, these are dry and pressed. So yeah, you need a little more glue for dried and pressed objects. That's the difference I'm finding. And so I'm sure that you decided on your design because of the shapes and the colors, maybe. Of your natural objects. Everyone's going to have something different depending on what you had in your yard, and also just depends on what you like. You know, maybe you decided to draw circles with rocks, or even leaves. You can make circles with leaves too. I'm just gonna finish gluing. Let's see, how about this one? And don't worry about the glue. If you're using glue, it will dry. It'll dry clear. There we go. That'll work. Okay, now I like these objects too. Now this is, I'm gonna put the glue pretty thick right here for this. And I'm just gonna let this sit here and dry. All right, I am almost finished. I definitely want to put the pink petals right here. Then I have, let's see, one, kind of forgot. Made my little piles here. Yep, right in between the flowers where I want to put this. I just kind of laid the glue on top. So yeah, you're gonna have a lot of glue, and that's okay. It will dry. It will. You need to put the glue so it sticks. I really like that. Is there anything that I want to do? I think I wanted to add these little yellow ones somewhere. Was it inside the leaf? I'm trying to remember. And I'm going to cut this one just a little bit. There we go. Yep. I'm just going to go ahead and put the glue on all of my leaves because I know those little yellow flower petals are going to go there. And I'm just going to press them down. Remember, the natural objects, well, they're all natural. The fresh ones, the ones you just picked out the yard and did not press, it's so much easier to glue. It's much easier to glue. Just remember though, they will change. It will kind of crinkle up on the edge. So we'll see what happens because this one I just dried completely flat. Wow, look at that. I feel like I could even add more. I could probably keep going because this is just so much fun. I'm really enjoying this. I'm liking how it's coming out. I might put a few more little yellow ones, and then I think I'll be finished after that. And you can keep adding. You can keep adding to your design. I'm not really sure exactly what I want to do. I kind of like that too. You see, it keeps changing. You can keep changing it. Now I can keep those there, and I could add something here. You see that? All right, I decided what I'm going to do to finish. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. I am super happy with this. I had a lot of fun making my organic mandala. I like how everything suggests a circle, and I have lots of balance from sides and the top. Keep in mind, you want to put your glue pretty thick. Make sure these objects stay. And then when this completely dries, you're not even going to see the glue. And then if you use the fresh plants, then you'll just have a nice surprise, and you'll see how it decays through time. It'll still hold up, but something will change, and it will be beautiful in the way that it changes. different, but still beautiful. All right, and there we have it. I am so happy with my organic mandala. Well, thank you for joining me today. I hope you had as much fun as I did creating your organic mandalas. It was really nice to get outside today and use nature to actually make artwork. So I enjoyed it. So before I leave, I would just like to leave you with this message that I, along with all of the other PACE artists from the Acadiana Center for the Arts, will be posting a new lesson every day at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for kindergarten, first, and second grades. Each grade is tied into the academic curriculum, and some lessons will be in visual arts and some lessons will be in creative movements, which comes from dance. So make sure you come back and make art with us tomorrow. If you are interested in supporting programs like this, you can always donate to the Acadiana Center for the Arts, which is the nonprofit organization who manages this PACE program, using this link in the description. Please help keep our teaching artists working. Share our videos and keep making art. If you are interested in booking a private lesson with me, you can find my email in the description box below. Thanks again, and I'll see you soon. Have a great day.